What is up, guys? My name is Versatile and welcome back to another video. I want to teach you guys how to install mods in Skyrim. And before we get started, I just want to let you guys know you should have a vanilla save, or at least a save with the least amount of mods as possible before we start installing mods like crazy, because some mods will end up breaking your save if you try to uninstall them. So I want to make this as beginner friendly as possible. And without further ado, let's get into it. So before we get into modding Skyrim, we need to do one crucial check, and that is knowing your version. It's because that some mods are not updated and are fit to a different version, which may not be compatible with the version you are on. So we're gonna go ahead and do a quick check. So if you install a Skyrim Special Edition on your main drive or on your default Windows drive, you will need to go ahead and click on it, and then click on Program Files x86, and then go to Steam, Steam Apps, which is around here, as well as Common. So these are all of your game directories. So I do not have Skyrim installed on this. I have it installed on an external drive. So we're gonna go back to where I started, and it's pretty much the same layout. So go to Common and then Skyrim Special Edition, and this is your game directory. Now, what you will need to do is go to Skyrim SE, and that is your application. Make sure it's this one too. So you will right click on it, go to properties, and then go to details. And 1.6.1170 is your Skyrim version, and it may be different for some of you who may have downgraded or have had previous versions, but this is the version I'm using, and we're going to be installing mods based off of this version. So if you plan to mod everything manually, this can cause a lot of headaches down the road. So to alleviate that, we're going to install Mod Manager. So you can choose between Vortex, which is the official Nexus Mod Manager, and you also have Mod Organizer 2. Now I've tried on my first time modding Skyrim, I did use Vortex because I used it for Cyberpunk, but I ended up switching to Mod Organizer 2 simply because it saved me a bit more headaches, and stuff seems to work better from Mod Organizer 2, but you can choose any one of these that you want. So going through this real quick. So if you have Vortex, this is what the dashboard will look like, at least at this point of recording. So what you need to do is search for a game, and then it'll pop up under here. So Skyrim Special Edition, you'll need to put that in the title or just type in Skyrim. I'm gonna show right now. So if you go to games, then we go to Skyrim, you have the Legacy Edition, which I believe is this. You have the VR version and the Special Edition. Now, if you have the Special and Anniversary Edition, it'll both go under here. So that's what I wanted to show. So in mods right here, this isn't Skyrim, this is Cyberpunk, but this is where your mod list will look like. So you have disabled, enabled, and I think uninstalled. But we're gonna switch back to this tab here. And what you're going to use for Skyrim is either collections or the low order, but basically collections are like some type of mod packs. So if someone has a list of their mods, they can publish it as a mod pack, and you'll be able to download all of their mods and experience their modded version of the game. But right here, you're going to be in the low order a lot, especially since Skyrim is going to require some low order changes. But that's what I wanted to show for Vortex. Now switching over to Mod Organizer 2, it's simple almost. However, this is the interface for Mod Organizer 2. And if you look at this priority number, I'm gonna say right now, the higher this number, the quicker the mod's gonna load. So what I'm trying to say is that the low order right here is reverse. So basically, the higher this number, the higher the priority. So Papyrus, which is a mod you need to install, but we're gonna get to that later when I try to install the framework and stuff. This is gonna go all the way at the bottom because this will load first before anything else. So that's what I wanted to say, just that this number is reversed, and you need to sort your mods in reverse accordingly for everything to work correctly. Okay, so the next thing we absolutely need to download is the Skyrim script extender, and basically most if not all mods are going to be running off of this. So down here we have a manual installation, and we have it installed with Vortex in the description. You guys can read some other stuff here if you want to, but this is important right here. So once installed, no additional steps are needed to launch Skyrim with SKSE's added functionality. You can start the game using SKSE from SKSE64_loader. So this is the loader, and I'm gonna show that right now because we are doing a manual installation. Install with Vortex, you can use the Vortex tab right here if you're using that. However, we're going to do a manual installation because I want to visually install this to show you guys. And one more thing right here, compatibility. SKSE64 supports the release of Skyrim on Steam and GOG. Other stores, Epic Game Store, Windows Store, Game Pass, are not supported. So I just wanted to give you that caveat. So we go here, you can install it from Steam. If you have the Steam version, you install this one. If you have the GOG version, you install this file. I already have one downloaded, so I'm about to switch to that. But also over here, if you have Malware Organizer 2, you should install this one. If you have Vortex, I'm not sure if the Anniversary Edition works, so if they fix that, because when I mix Anniversary Edition and Special Edition mods on Vortex, it gets a little weird. So if you're on Vortex, I recommend either downloading the first one or the third one right here. But then again, you probably want the AE build unless you know what you're doing. That's that. But if you're using GOG, it's the second link right here. You just click download and it should pop up. But like I said, I already downloaded this, so we're about to head into installing it. Okay, now that we have your file downloaded, you'll need to go ahead and extract it. You can click on extract all using the just right click and click extract all. It doesn't really matter what you use, but we're gonna go ahead. It's gonna create a folder, and then you need to click on this folder twice. And this is what we need to do. If you click on the README, you can go ahead and this is the installation part right here. So I'm not sure if you guys can read that, but it says copy the DLL and exe files to your Skyrim Special Edition directory. This is usually in your program files folder. I already showed you guys that. If you see the files named as Skyrim SE and Skyrim SE Launcher, this is the correct folder. Do not copy these files to the data folder as with a normal mod. The SRC folder is only useful for programmers. Most users can ignore it. So if you're a programmer or you're trying to make mods, then you can copy the SRC folder. However, the next thing you will need to do is just click on these two files. So all we have to do is just move these files over to here. And since I already have them, I'm just gonna skip the files. I'm not gonna replace anything. But basically they should pop up through here. Now head back to your SKSE folder that you have just downloaded, then go to data and then scripts, and then copy all of this here. So warn object, all of these PEX files, skip the source folder. Just click copy, and then go to Skyrim Special Edition, data, scripts, and then paste them. Now, since I already have these PEX files, I can just go ahead and skip this, but that is how you fully install SKSE. You will now have to launch your game through the loader. And if you're on Malware Organizer 2, you can go ahead and you can click on edit. And then we can go ahead and click on executables. You'll need to add one from a file. So it'll pop up in your Skyrim directory, and then you can click on application and then click on open. And that's what it does. You can now click on apply and you can click on apply and okay. But since I already have this, I'm going to click on cancel, and SKSE will pop up through here. So that's what I wanted to show you guys. Now we're going to go ahead and install some actual mods. Now that we have your mod manager and SKSE set up, we're going to go ahead and install some framework mods. So I would say, think of it as somewhat like, I would say Jenga blocks or anything that you have to stack. So basically there's a layer that's at the bottom that pretty much needs to be there for the whole thing to work. And then you start building on top of that layer. So it may not be the best analogy or comparison, but you guys kind of get what I'm saying. So SSE engine fixes is an example of a framework mod, as well as Sky UI extensions, address library for SKSE plugins. XP32 is a framework mod for like custom bodies and skeletons and physics, I believe. CBBE, custom body as usual. FNIS is for animations. We're going to go over these briefly later on in the video. However, I want to show you guys not only just some framework mods, because there are so many mods in Skyrim and I may not be able to hit everything. So I'm going to teach you guys how to install using a mod manager, as well as installing manually. So we're going to go ahead and go to Papyrus Utility, which is the mod I specifically told you guys about earlier, where it's time to install it. So you can read the description about this mod and a bunch of stuff on your own time. However, we're going to go ahead and go to the main files. So choose the version of SKSE and Skyrim that matches up. And then we're going to go ahead and click on manual download if you want to install manually, or mod manager download if you're going to install through the mod manager. So for Mod Organizer 2, it will come up on this tab and then you can click on it and install it through that. However, for Vortex, it's going to appear in your download section and then it'll go to your mods folder. That's how that goes. Go ahead and navigate back to Nexus Mods. Papyrus Utility AESE is what we're going to download. Click on manual download, and it'll also give you a pop-up for additional files required. So if the mod publisher lists these, it'll make it easier for anyone who's trying to install their mods to know what they're looking for. So if any of you guys publish mods and your mod needs another mod to work off for it to work properly, please give the people who are trying to install your mod as much information as possible. So now we're going to download. Click on slow download if you're on free, max for premium, but it shouldn't really matter if you don't have the premium version of Nexus anyway. So we're going to click on save. So to manually install through Mod Organizer 2, go ahead and go to File, Install Mod, and then click on the folder. You don't need to extract anything yet, or at least if you're installing this way, you don't need to extract from the folder. Now you can just click OK. And then if you have a mod that's already installed and you're either trying to reinstall it or update it, it's going to pop up with this. So we're going to go with replace because it's essentially the same mod. So here's your three options. So we have merge, which is add files from this archive, overriding existing ones. So that's maybe for updating. Replace is completely replacing, just overriding everything pertaining to that mod. And renaming is just installing this as a separate mod. We're just going to go ahead and replace this. And there we go. It should pop up. Yes, in plugins, it'll usually pop up somewhere down here. I have mine sorted by name right now, but you can sort them by flags, priority, mod index. But that's pretty much what I wanted to show you. I don't think Papyrus Utility has a plugin, but I think it may. If you can check if something has a plugin. You can click on the mods right here. And as you see during the scroll tab, it's green right here. So if it had a corresponding plugin, there will be some sort of color right here on this scroll tab as well. That's how you know if a mod has any extra plugins or not. But that is how you install through a mod manager. Now we're going to go ahead and go to a manual installation. So we're going to click on the downloaded file, and now we're going to extract it. So now that we are here, you will need to, well, you don't have to go through the README. However, it is something that if you want to do, go ahead. However, what we would need to do is copy these folders right here and then place them in our directory. Okay, Once we are in our directory, we will need to go to data and then paste them. So some mods, depending on how they're structured, you will need to go to different folders. So Papyrus utility was structured in this way. So you just put the folders in here and the files would go to their corresponding folders. So paste, and there we go. So you have source as well as scripts. Everything else went in here. But this has created its own folder. So that is how you install mods manually, through extraction, manually through a mod manager, or at least installing from a file. Okay, so before we finish with the mod installation section, I do want to show you guys one more thing, and it's with one of these mods. So for something like HDT SMP or something like CBPC, which is pretty much physics, what you will need to do once you install, I'm going to reinstall just in case to show you guys, but it'll sometimes give you a pop-up which lets you configure the file for yourself, set your settings how you want them to be. But this is for faster HDT SMP. So you have an introduction page and then it has your Skyrim version. So if you have more than one version installed, this wouldn't be grayed out. But if you only have one version like me, then this is just gonna auto select your version. So these are extra settings. If you really know what these are, it gives you a short description, but for now I'm going to skip over these because I don't fully understand them. So I will just go ahead, click next, then install, and then I'm going to replace the mod as usual. But now that's pretty much how you would configure a file if it gives you a pop-up. So don't be afraid. It's pretty much just further customizing the file for you. So if you are curious, or if you want to see some settings and change them, all you have to do is just reinstall the mod, and then you can tweak them as you go, although you do need to relaunch the game every time. But I just wanted to show you guys that, and without further ado, let's go to the next step. Okay, we are nearing the end of this tutorial, and I want to go over one more thing, and that will be animations. So if you ever install any animation mods in the future, or you may have installed them now, once you may be going crazy with your mods right now, now that you know how to install them, you will need to go ahead and install an engine. So like I said, something like Nemesis, Pandora. FNIS is a bit dated, so most people just use Nemesis or Pandora. What you will need to do, if they don't pop up here, you need to go to edit and then add executables like how I showed earlier, and then you need to click apply and then okay. So after that, you need to go ahead and start the engine. Next thing you will need to do is launch the engine. However, I've already did that, so I'm gonna go ahead and update the engine because I'm not sure if it's updated, since I already have all of my animations registered. But whenever you launch the engine, what it's going to do is going to list all of your animations going down. And remember, the longer, or at least the more animations you have, the slower this is going to load and the longer that this is going to take. I just wanted to add that in because it's pretty much anything. You know, you may have a bigger mod list than mine. Some people have like 300 mods for Skyrim, and unless you have like a good PC for that, it may take a long time to load. So I would say start off light, please. But whenever you're installing animations or uninstalling animations, you will need to go ahead and run this engine every time, just to make sure nothing really glitches. So it's just to be safe, or on the safe side. So now that it's done, you will need to go ahead and close it out and launch your game. I've talked about ReShade in my Cyberpunk tutorial, so I might as well talk about it in my Skyrim tutorial. So if you want your game to look a little bit better, ReShade is essentially just like little filters you can put on top of your game to further tweak the way the game looks. And overall, I find it pretty useful in stuff like Skyrim or Cyberpunk, just to give me a little bit more customization on what I want to do. And you also get to see your changes in real time, since most of this is affected in the game. So as of June 8th, 2025, although it's currently August the 5th as of recording, this is the current version, 6.5.1. So for most users, all you have to do is just download this. If you know what you're doing, you can download it with full add-on support. However, most people just need to download the regular ReShade, and we're about to do that now. So once that's done, you get to click on this file here, and then it'll show you all of your games. So what you will need to do is scroll down to, scroll down to Skyrim, and I believe it's this one. It's not showing the loader, so it's absolutely this one. So Skyrim se.exe, and then it runs off of DirectX 10, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So click this option. If you already have it, it'll say update ReShade. However, if you don't have it, it'll say install ReShade, install ReShade and effects, and then it says uninstall ReShade and effects. So what we're going to do, I'm going through this option because this right here, it gives you all of the effects, and this is pretty much what's going on. So you have multiple effects here. If you want to install all of these, go ahead, do it at your own leisure. However, the more of these you install, the slower that ReShade will load. And I found that out the hard way. So what we're going to do, skip that for now. And once you are done, it's going to give you this page, successfully install ReShade. Click the finish button to exit the setup tool. And there you go, you have officially installed ReShade. Okay, so now that you have installed whatever you wanted to install, we can now start the game through SKSE, because as I said before, you cannot install, or you cannot run Skyrim through the regular application anymore. So just click on SKSE and then click on run. However, I do recommend that you either open and close Steam or have Steam running in the background. And the reason why I said this is because I'm assuming most of you guys Skyrim is linked to Steam. So what it will do, it'll open Steam and then open the Skyrim Special Edition launcher, and we do not want that to happen. So I recommend opening Steam before this, or finding a way to have SKSE open without using Steam. But that's what I wanted to say right there. So now that we've got that out the way, we can now run the game. All right, I have an ENB set up, so it's going to take a little longer to load in my Skyrim. If you guys want to know how to install ENBs and such, if you haven't already looked at another tutorial, I will eventually release one. But I have really no timetable for now on what other tutorials I have planned for Skyrim. All right, now once you have loaded into your save, you can pretty much check on everything here. So if you go to System and you go to Mod Configuration, you can check your mods if they have a configuration menu. You can go ahead and look through these if you wanted to. So basically what it does is that this will help you further configure mods, and that's all I wanted to show you guys. That's pretty much it. If you do have ReShade installed, you can just press home, and then your ReShade menus will pop up, and you can just go through some of these filters and, you know, install these or tweak them however you want to. So that's what I wanted to show you guys. So that'll be it for this tutorial. So before I want to end the video, I just want to ask you guys to maybe critique me on a few things. Let me know what I did great. Let me know what I need to work on. But apart from that, I hope you guys really learned something from this Skyrim tutorial. I know it may be a bit vague as I'm not installing anything specific, but I will already have a few tutorials that install specific things down the road. And I plan to make more as these become more popular. But as I was saying, hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to leave a like if this helped, as well as let me know your thoughts down below. And I will see you in the next one.